Hey everybody, this is Charlie, the Pennsylvania grain farmer, and I'm coming to you from my farm headquarters here at the Red Shed. It's Sunday, I believe it's February the 20th. And I thought I'd do something a little bit different today rather than focusing on a tractor or a piece of equipment or the Red Shed itself like I did in one of my last videos. I thought today that I would do some videos of the farm itself. A couple weeks ago I did a video on delivering some horse hay, and to my surprise, a number of the comments mentioned the scenery that people were able to see as we were driving back up my driveway on the way home. I guess, and people even mentioned about the mountains and asked me what mountains these were that you could see in the background. And that really surprised me because there really wasn't that much of that kind of stuff in that video. So I thought, well, maybe people would like to see a little bit about what this farm looks like. Now, of course, you'll see more as this year goes on. I'm just new to YouTube in terms of posting videos. It's only been about 2 months, even though I've been watching videos here regularly probably for 5 or 6 years. But as this year goes on, I plan to do some videos on my actual farming operation and farming process. And so you'll see lots of shots of different fields, but I thought it would be nice for me to take you around to a few locations that I've picked out and just kind of show you what everything looks like so that maybe you can enjoy the scenery the way I do. So at this point, I'm going to head out to the first location and we'll see you back here in a couple minutes. Okay, where I am right now is approaching the southern border of the farm, and I thought I'd take a picture or a video from here. This is probably the second highest point on the farm according to Google Earth, and I decided to stop here because you can get a good view of what the buildings on the farm look like. What you're seeing in the left side of the frame is my mother's house and gazebo. My house is down the driveway just to the left. It's just out of view because it's kind of down in a little bit of a hollow there. But as we move to the right, right here in the foreground, you can see the pig pen. There's my mother's garage and what used to be a chicken coop beside it. You can see the Red Shed, which I've talked about many times, the milk house, the main barn itself, and then the gray building where I use pretty much as a wagon shed and for storage. And if I pan further out to the left, you can see some of the fields, some fence rows, of course. But then in the distance, what you see are the beginnings of the Appalachian Mountains. These are actually referred to as the Allegheny Mountains, and they are pretty much the western side of the Appalachian Ridge here in western Pennsylvania. And I've always loved it. I've thought it was, pretty scenic. And when I'm out working, I really enjoy looking at these mountains. I don't know how well you can see it, but right out here are a couple of, I guess they're telephone towers or communication towers of some sort. Whenever I talk about my friend Joe, who works on my Olivers, and his son Ben, and my friends Dan and Frank, that's where they live. They live just over the other side of the mountain, right on the other side of those towers. And if I pan over here further to the right, you see, more of these Allegheny Mountains. And there you see another tower. When you hear me talk about my friend Corey, that's where his farm is. So it's kind of nice and comforting sometimes to see those markers for where my friends are. And you can see some of the surrounding area. It's really a lot of rolling hills, and it may not show up that well on the camera. And right there you can see about in the middle of the frame the roof of my cousin's barn and his farm. Okay, so that's That's what it looks like from here. When you look out, now we're facing kind of west-northwest, and you don't see the mountains anymore. You only see our typical rolling hills here in western PA. Okay, right now we're sort of on the eastern end of the farm, and like always, you can see the Appalachian or Allegheny Mountains in the back, whichever you want to call them. But this particular spot is probably my favorite place on the whole farm, because I don't know how well the camera shows it, but we're actually standing on the edge of a cliff. You know, right here where this snow is, it drops off and it's all, you know, jagged rocks. And according to Google Earth, from where I'm standing down to the river below, it's 250 feet. And I know I see all kinds of wildlife out here. And in fact, for the first time 2 years ago, I actually saw an eagle flying down here. We don't see bald eagles in this area very often. They just seem to be moving in. But it was really cool to see them here. But yeah, somehow I guess it must have been a glacier that carved out this big flat area down at the bottom and left this jagged cliff here on the edge of our farm. But as you look in the distance, you can actually see a couple different small towns in the area, and again the Appalachian or Allegheny Mountains further off in the distance. But I've always loved this place. Whenever I you know, feel the need to be alone and just sit and think, sometimes I'll come out here with a camp chair, or if I just want to meditate or pray, this is the place I do it. But it's so beautiful out here, especially in the summer when everything's so green. And a fun fact, when I was a little kid, out down there before a lot of that brush grew up, when somebody was actively farming that bottom, I used to try to shoot groundhogs at that distance and at that downward angle, but never had any luck. Okay, now where you see that little gap in the tree line there is where we were standing on the edge of that cliff just a couple minutes ago. That's about 100 yards. I moved about 100 yards in from the cliff so that you could see this eastern end of the farm, you know, from a little different point of view. But you know, as I pan, I'm going clockwise, you can see the mountains again. And also, if you look out this way, you kind of can look crossways on that cliff. And our property stops at the end of this field right up here, but we own the cliff for about another half or 3/4 of a mile beyond that point. It's kind of like a panhandle on the farm. My dad had bought that separately after he bought the main farm itself. And then the line kind of goes up this way in a straight line down over the hill. And if I pan over this way, you can see the another shot of the buildings. It's, you know, a little different perspective from what you saw before, and one of the numerous gas wells that we have on the property. And if you look real close in the background here, maybe I can focus that a little bit. You can see my hay wagons. I have a corn sheller and a corn picker out there, and my Kraus disc is sitting there too. But you know, as you look at this, you can see that the land is kind of gently rolling. Everybody thinks because our driveway goes up a hill that when they get up here that it's going to be all hilly, but really compared to most of the farms here in western Pennsylvania, it's really fairly flat. I only have a couple steep places, and I'll probably show them to you later. Okay. So this is what it looks like around here from this angle. And now we're a little closer to the northeastern edge of the farm, And panning around, again, you can see the mountains in the background and some of our woods. This is we have always referred to right down here as the square field. It's about 1.5 acres. There's a little bit of a hollow over here to the left, and then you see what's probably the steepest field that we have on the farm, which is right in about here. It probably doesn't look that steep from where you are, but I've often worried about rolling a hay wagon or a corn gravity wagon there, but so far I never have. But that little square field is about 1.6 acres, and it's really a pain in the ass to farm because it's so short. It seems like when you're plowing it or doing anything, all you do is turn, and you just don't make any time that way. So this is actually a shot of some of the more rolling areas here on the farm. All right, and now we're right about in the middle of the farm, and this is where I'm going to end this video. One of the reasons that I chose this particular spot is because this is the highest point on the farm. According to Google Earth, I believe it's about 1,250 feet above sea level, but you can't see all of the farm from here. There are some fields down here to the left, like that square field that I showed you, that you can't see from here, but I really think the overall view is the nicest from here. If you look out, you can see the Allegheny or Appalachian Mountains out there, and from this angle you can see a couple of my hay wagons. You can see the roof of the bank barn and the red shed, and also my mother's house down there too. And off in the distance out this way is my cousin's farm, which I think I showed you from a little different perspective earlier. So you really get a nice view of things from up here. But these are the kind of things I was hoping to show you today. I love this farm. I've been here since the day I was born, so I've lived here for 66 years now. And honestly, not to sound morbid, but this is also where I want to die. I hope to live out the rest of my days here. So I just wanted to share this with you. And believe me, if it hasn't shown through in my videos, I absolutely love farming. Even at this age, I still love it. I can't imagine not doing it. And I love the fact that I get to do it here. And whenever I'm out here working these fields and I look around and I see all this scenery, I just think about how lucky and blessed I am to have been able to farm all my life, and hopefully to continue to for years to come. I just feel like a king when I'm out here, riding around the old tractor and looking around. So I'm going to end the video here. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, I hope you'll hit the like button and to subscribe if you already haven't. And if you are already a subscriber, I thank you very much for that. Consider sharing this video with others if you think there was something worthwhile. And at this point, I'll say this is Charlie, the Pennsylvania grain farmer, saying see you next time.